Welcome to 100 Yards of Football this morning. I'm your host, Vincent Turner, and today I got a Legends video concerning the NFL. It's about a special player by the name of John Stallworth. He played with the Pittsburgh Steelers from 1974 to 1987. So if you like the video today, please come in and share it as I talk about this great athlete from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. One more time, if you like the video, please come in and share it. Let's talk about John Stallworth. Now, I'm going to take you back in time. During my middle school years, from my ages of 12 to 14, and then my high school years, I was a big-time Dallas Cowboys fan. And there was one organization and team that used to dominate the Dallas Cowboys. In 2 Super Bowls in the 70s, the Pittsburgh Steelers had their juice and their news for the Dallas Cowboys. And back in Super Bowl 13, this young man right here, as you see on the caption, John Stallworth went to work. What a player, what a guy. I'm going to start with Mr. Stallworth's career back when he was a youngster in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. At 8 years old, this young man had a very viral infection that paralyzed him. For the next 2 years of his life, he fought that terrible disease and overcame it. Then he went on to become one of the best athletes in the neighborhoods of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, but nobody didn't really hear of him. Then he went over to Tuscaloosa High School, and he played at a high school that produced Curly Holman, former head coach at Southern Mississippi, LaRon McClain, a former fullback at the University of Alabama, and a young man that's playing in the National Football League named Bo Scarborough. But over there, Mr. Stallworth, when he was at Tuscaloosa back in the 70s, going to Tuscaloosa High School, he was too small. So there was a lot of schools that didn't come in and recruit him. And there was a school up there in Norma, Alabama, outside Huntsville, Alabama, that gave him his only scholarship, which is Alabama A&M. Well, he went up there, did real well. He was a two all-conference player back in 72, 73. And then all of a sudden, after he finished at Alabama A&M, he really wasn't on the radar of any NFL teams until a scout by the name of Bill Nunn, who was scouting specifically black colleges back in that time, found this young man on campus. And boy, John Stallworth came into the 1974 NFL draft as the 82nd pick in the 4th round. But think about the players that went before him in that draft. You had Lynn Swann. We all know about his great career coming out of USC. You had John Holland coming out of Tennessee State. You had Gerald Tinker coming out of Kent State. You had Wayne Wheeler coming out of Alabama. You had Nate Mortar coming out of University of Florida. And you had Harrison Davis coming out of Virginia. Well, there was only maybe one player that had a Hall of Fame career, which was Lynn Swann. And then maybe Nat Moore had a great career as he played with the Miami Dolphins. But all the other guys, they were like this, quiet. But what I loved about John Stallworth, I loved his career stats. 87 career receiving yards, 63 touchdowns, 537 receptions. But what I liked about him, he was big time in big time games. And boy, when he played against the Cowboys back in the Super Bowl 13, he had 3 receptions for 115 yards. And he had that 75-yard touchdown reception to get the game going. And boy, the Steeler Nation with them terrible towels. I was a Cowboys fan, freshman at the University of Arkansas. I could not stand it. Then he comes back the next year in Super Bowl 14 against the Los Angeles Rams. Ted Bradshaw hit him on that deep pass, the 60 percentage slouch hook. And he caught that ball over Ron Perry, one of the best cornerbacks who was playing with the LA Rams out of the University of Colorado. And he took it to the end zone. In that game, he had 3 receptions for 121 yards. John Stallworth was big time. And then think about this with Mr. Stallworth. Going back to Super Bowl history, he still leads total yards per reception in a Super Bowl, 24 yards a catch. And then in a single game, he still holds that record at 40 yards a catch. 12 touchdowns in 17 playoff games. A reception in 17 straight playoff games. But what made Mr. Stallworth so special is that in 1984, he won the NFL Comeback Player of the Year. 1,395 yards receiving, and 8 touchdowns. And the guy, 4-time Super Bowl champion, first team All-Pro in 1979, 3-time Pro Bowler, 79, 82, and 84. John Stallworth was special. But this would make him more special. He started after the game in 1 year before he retired, he started a corporation in the hometown of Huntsville, Alabama, same place where Alabama A&M is located in the suburbs of Norman, Alabama. And he started a corporation by Madison Research Corporation, which supplied parks and software to the U.S. government. And after he retired from the game, this is what makes him so special. Not only when he was at Alabama A&M, he got his degree in business administration. Then he got his MBA in business administration. But his corporation in 2006 had 375 employees in 15 states. And he turned around and sold the company for $69 million. Can I say it again? $69 million. And we don't even hear about that. The young man has stayed quiet over there in Huntsville, Alabama, because that's where he stays at, the school he attended for 4 years. And he gives back over almost $500,000 in scholarship money to students who can't afford to go to college at Alabama A&M. John Stallworth is special. Then a few years ago, the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, think about this. They thought so highly of him, they allowed him to purchase stock in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. I get chill bumps when I think about that. And I think about John Stallworth. And he's a guy that's never around taking the shine from the football program. He's always doing things positive in the background. He's an athlete that did not only do it on the field, he did it in the business world. This is what we need to salute right here from Pittsburgh's nation with the terrible ties, Mr. John Stallworth. But I'm going to say my final words about him. His teammate Lynn Swan said this about John Stallworth. He said, hey, my career wouldn't went well and I wouldn't have made the Hall of Fame if it wasn't for my teammates that I played with during the 70s with the Steelers. Joe Green, Terry Bradshaw, Mel Blount, Donnie Shell. But however, the one guy who pushed me was John Stallworth. And you know why? John Stallworth's work ethic, was marvelous. His work ethic was marvelous. So my final words about John Stallworth today, and I'm so proud, is even mention this man in the same breath, is that it was a song that came out in 1977 by a group out in Cincinnati, Ohio, the Isley Brothers. I keep pushing and I'm bound to climb. I'm climbing up the ladder. John Stallworth, as we speak here today on 100 Yards of Football, is still climbing up the ladder. I'm climbing up the ladder. John Stallworth, I'm proud of you, man. God bless. If you like the video today, please comment and share it. I'm Vincent Turner of 100 Yards of Football. Be blessed this week.